All right, also on the day 2 of the review, okay, some more recent stuff about inequality. Now, a lot of students, they are often confused about this question with the other type of question. That is, do you know what to do? What do we do? Do we shade the region or just shade the line? Now, it all depends on your understanding of the word solve. The meaning of the word solve means to find the value of values, in this case for x, to make the statement true. What is the statement? The statement is that this part must be less than 0. So then we say, well, how? How are we going to find out? Now, what I hope is that when you stare at this quadratic expression, then your mind, your brain, it's doing some irresistible work, that is to factor it. I hope your brain has already factored it like this. And if you can factor it into the root form like this, well, that's one good news, because now you can visualize the graph. And that's what I would advocate, because you will find out that having the ability to graph, it's going to make your information extraction process a lot easier. Oops, sorry, my bad. I meant to do the other way. It should be -5 right here, and then 3 right here. So if you know how to draw your graph, so your parabola will likely look something like this, okay? And by the way, you can also tell your, of course, the roots by this, right? These are the critical values, okay? Critical values or critical numbers, okay? They are the roots. Now, why are they critical? Because they are the roots, they are the ones that is equal to 0, but we are looking for what? We are looking for the part of the graph that is less than 0. Well, how do we know which part is less than 0? Well, this part of the graph is less than 0. That means you have this region of the graph where, like, if you have the x value somewhere between -5 and 3, okay, if your x value is somewhere between -5 and 3, then it would result in a number that's negative, which is less than 0. And therefore, this whole statement will be true. So to present our solution, which is the values that makes the statement true, we will use our interval notation. In that case, we'll say from -5 to 3, okay, from -5 to 3, but not including -5 nor 3, because they would get us equal to 0, but we don't want 0. We want things that are less than 0. So here's another thing that is, can you read this and not be confused with the point? This is an interval notation, because we have quite a lot of numbers that would make the statement true. And it is impossible to list out all the numbers, so we will just go ahead and use the interval notation to express it. Okay, and number 5, it's very similar as well. Okay, the thing about number 5 is that you've got to move the -4, I'm going to do the 24 over. You have to -24 to get the 24 over. So we say, hey, so you have this, and hopefully your brain again did the easy work, which is to factor. Okay, you factor it. So x is equal to -8, x is equal to 3. Okay, those are your roots. And then you can now go ahead and draw your graph. The graph will show you that you have a root at -8 and you have another root at 3. So the graph will look something like this. We don't need to know the vertex, because the vertex is not going to give us any assistance here. We just care about which part of the graph it's above 0, which part of the graph is less than 0. And since our statement is this one, we want the graph it's being above 0. So this is the part that's above 0, which is to the left-hand side of -8 and to the right of 3. So therefore, our solution in interval notation would be from -∞ to -8. not including -8. But then we also need to include this part as well. So we say union 3 to infinity. That's how you present two sets of intervals in a single solution, okay? In pre-calc, you might have more actually, then you just keep doing the union thing then to link up all the intervals together. Okay, but for now, we just have two intervals and you can use the union to include them. And by the way, all the numbers must go from small to large. Do not reverse the order. That would not be a smart move to if you reverse the order. Okay.